Hi, welcome to Zero Fucks Given. My name is Krista DeLuca. Joining me today is Carson Block, the founder of Muddy Waters, and his partner Freddy Brick. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Yeah?
I'm okay.
Are you a little jet lagged?
No, I'm a little concerned that before we were discussing this, you were saying like, yeah, well, like Batman and Robin, and it's very clear who Robin is in that equation. So jet lag's fine. Concerned about being thought of as Robin, but beyond that, I can push through.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Why are you concerned about that?
I mean, he's like a good gymnast, flexible.
We all know what the subtle subtext of the Batman and Robin relationship was.
I did not know. I always thought you were Batman, you were Robin, and like you were like...
So to me, the saddest corollary in Batman, the TV show, is Adam West, who was the actor. I remember in the 90s and early 2000s, that dude was on commercials late at night that, you know, I only saw because I was waking up from being passed out on the sofa. And he's like slurring his speech, and he's pitching public internet access terminals.
Really?
Like the guy clearly had no idea how to, you know, like even use a rotary phone, you know, and just like talking about internet terminals and shit. But yeah, it was pretty sad. Like, so it's, you know, to see one of, you know, oh, how the mighty have fallen. He was Batman, man. Like Robin used to go down on that dude. Like that's how long.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Hence my concern about being Robin in the Batman and Robin configuration.
I mean, sorry.
It's okay.
I
forget
I always, when I met him, I thought it was a little questionable.
At least his name wasn't Rob Zinn.
Anyway.
But, so you're back 2 weeks?
Yeah, back from Vietnam, which was really cool. I had such a good time, and I'm so excited about the opportunity that, like, as I hear myself telling it, I hate myself. I actually imagine that, like, this is probably how Anthony Bolton first sounded when he came back from China. He was like, oh, there's chuffing amounts of growth over there, and I met Chairman Chewy, and he's just a bloody good bloke, and there's plenty of opportunities. And I'm like, I kind of sound a bit like that. In fact, I'm so optimistic that I met with some other English expats and they didn't even complain. And we fucking love complaining. Like, there's nothing better for an English expat to be sat in a kind of quasi-colonial bar drinking with other expats, complaining about how shit the place is. And like English expats, like, oh no, it's really good here. We just really like it. Everything's great. I mean, yeah, I've been screwed a few times, but it's really excellent. So, I just like hate myself for being optimistic. It's so uncharacteristic. It'll temper down eventually, but for now, I have the Vietnam glow.
Wow, you didn't have that Vietnam glow, or did you?
I thought I came back pretty enthusiastic.
Not like this one. Not like Robin.
No, Robin was always a little bit excitable, you know. Like, you know, he delivered those lines with, you know, a little bit of higher pitch in his voice than Batman.
All right, well, that's a great little recap.
Oh.
Also, when you came back, you told me that you had this great business idea, Shark Tank, but for frauds. Do you want to, like, talk to us about that?
Yeah, so I can't remember who I was kind of going back and forth with over email or text, and someone's like, oh yeah, imagine you and Carson on Shark Tank. And I think like the whole thing was, you know, they'd come in and be like, that shit. I'm like, yeah, probably would. But Shark Tank for frauds, okay? Like this is an area I think we are actually uniquely qualified for, okay? We've long said that the only companies we would actually feel comfortable owning are these like group of companies that are just perennial frauds that at some point go up 10x because they promote some sort of garbage, and we're like, yeah, that's kind of quite reliable, like that the management team is scumbags. So, you know, the concept I had was we'd sit there as a judging panel and people would come in and they'd be like, you know, look, I've got this technology, it's total bullshit, but it came out of Stanford, and I found some like, you know, 78-year-old PhDs who've got a bunch of patents, and there's kind of like a bubble forming over here, so I need some seed capital to go to the Roth conference. And, you know, just to be clear, we're not accusing Roth of any wrongdoing or promotion of frauds in case you are watching this, Byron. But if you do want a piece of Shark Tank for Frauds, we're happy to commingle the two events. And so, you know, my concept was like, people would come in and they'd get like real mentorship from us, and we'd only invest in the good frauds. Like, we'd pass on the things that weren't scalable, lacked imagination, had like too many, you know, pre-existing fraudsters that'd be too easy to discover. So yeah, that was my idea. And
but like, we don't have, contrary to what many people believe about short sellers, we don't actually have a track record in fraud, right? So we have to compete against some pretty serious guys. I mean, like, what's your unique selling proposition versus Barry Honig? I'm not a supporter of fraud, but, you know, just theoretically, if you were, like, what would your unique selling proposition be there?
He's already been allegedly caught, okay? That's the difference, all right? We would add a sheen of respectability. We would go long your fraud. You could be like, look, there's this short seller. They do real work. They're long my fraud. Like, that's what we would offer.
Yeah, or maybe the whole thing is, it's like, you know, short sellers in general, the activist short sellers who are in on this, it's kind of like, yeah, you know, you're not going to, nobody's going to come out, you know, nobody who anybody cares about is going to come out and be, you know, publicly short your thing, bro. So, so that's a good selling proposition.
So I think we would logically want to set the business up in Boca Raton. Obviously for the just tax advantages of living in frauds.
I do think
I was about to call it Fraudrida, but it's actually called Florida.
We do want a satellite office in Utah because, you know, they're pretty big in that shit too.
That's true. And look, we'll have, I think, some sort of direct connection to, you know, a fast track listing in Frankfurt or something along those lines if they do want to really step it up and take it to a large market cap. And then I was also thinking we could get that Hong Kong brokerage, the one that like got a 200 billion market cap, on tap to do the IPOs.
Oh, fuck yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, this is sounding pretty good.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Look, I genuinely...
And the best part is, you know, they would be Reg A+ offerings, which,
of course.
I mean, you know, like, that's the kind of thing you could tell your mother about. Like, shit, man, we do Reg A+ offerings for frauds.
Exactly. So
focus on the A+, not the frauds.
That's the latest business idea.
That's actually pretty smart.
I think it's pretty good.
Maybe we should go pitch that on Shark Tank to like Mark Cuban, etc., and see if they'll fund that.
Well, there's that O'Leary guy, right? Who like the
Leary, yeah.
Yeah, Leary.
Or is it O'Leary? Yeah.
Yeah, like didn't the wife like kind of kill someone in a boating accident or something along those lines? I feel like he's our kind of guy.
I mean, you know, like, well, his wife sounds like she could be. If she were the one who did it, she could probably head a large multi-strat hedge fund.
Yes.
You know,
so,
she's qualified.
Yeah, so, yeah.
You're saying you would hire her?
No, I mean, we're not a large multi-strat hedge fund. I'm just saying some are.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that it's a great idea. I genuinely don't think we'd have to tell the other judges that the true purpose of it was to fund frauds, because I'm pretty sure they can't tell the difference, most of them. And so we'll be sitting there and they'll just be like, yeah, these are great business ideas. And we'll be like, yeah, these are good frauds. So I think we can kind of mix it up. And if we can get it past their bullshit detectors, that's also a key indicia of what the average buy-side investor is going to think. So that's kind of my thinking on that. So yeah.
Very smart.
Okay.
Shark Tank for Frauds. Thank you very much.
Smart.
I mean,
actually, I'll have you know.
We have the studio for it, so yeah.
And I'll have you know, you're not the first person who's called me smart. Edwin Dorsey once told me I was quite smart, so...
Yeah, but she's not the first person who called you Robin either, is she?
Whatever, Bruce Wayne.
So that's smart, but totally on the other spectrum. Speaking of a dumb headline, Carson, you thought Bloomberg had a dumb headline.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to.
Right. So it's like Thursday evening U.S. time. You get the alert that pops up, and Asian traders skip happy hour for Powell Jackson Hole speech. I'm like, I know that's not going to happen. Like, Asian traders do not skip happy hour.
No.
Like, that's, I mean, like happy
Never.
hour.
Especially Thursday happy hour.
Especially an Asian trader named Happy. But if you're watching this, Happy, I gotta punch you in the fucking stomach too now.
Why don't you fill our viewers in on that?
Yeah, but emblematic of happy hour starting for Happy and lots of other Asian traders pretty much every day at about noon, 1 p.m. if they're being a little bit abstemious.
So
is that true?
It's not
my
untrue.
View of an Asian work week in Hong Kong, and you can probably give me a view of like Shanghai work week, but I would say, and this is the funniest thing, when banks stopped hiring foreigners, everyone's like, whoa, they're really fucked now. I mean, just hiring local talent. I'm like, well, let's look at the increase in productivity they might get out of their workforce, okay? Monday morning is a gimme. No one's really expected to be coherent on a Monday morning, especially if you've had a solid weekend. You might, if you're really, really sharp, get a few orders in before the close, and those are only people that have half passed out that you've seen in a nightclub on like a Saturday night or the early hours of Sunday morning drinking, and they've kind of like stumbled to their desks in time for Monday. So Monday, gimme. Tuesday you're working. Tuesday's a pretty solid work day. You'd be making it in for the morning meeting. You'd actually be doing some work. And Tuesday's a full-blown work day and probably one of the most productive 12 hours of your entire week. Wednesday's already getting pretty close to the weekend here. And, Wednesday morning, again, pretty solid work day. Wednesday afternoon is quite close to Thursday. You should probably be planning something pretty good for Thursday happy hour.
Which again starts at
right.
noon or maybe 1 if you have to do a business lunch.
Now, assuming you've met your weekly quota in the Tuesday, Wednesday window, by Thursday already you can start to be looking to the weekend. You should have some serious client drinks and dinners lined up for Thursday. Like, that's absolutely essential. Friday morning, no one's expected coherent at work. It's nice if you can get to the desk and not throw up on your own keyboard. Thursday night was obviously a blowout. By Thursday night, you should have organized Friday lunch. If you're any good at your job, you should not be expected back in the office on Friday afternoon. So I think of the sum of a 5-week working day,
it's like 2.5.
It's 2.5, of which I think the half's questionable on how sober you have to be. Friday afternoon's a complete gimme, and then obviously the weekend continues from there. What's amazing is those people were still able to actually cram enough into a Tuesday and Wednesday to make Europeans look lazy. That's the best bit of all of it, right? These guys were still able to that's not hard, agreed.
But you're doing it on 2 days.
2 days, all right? So, while Francois at SocGen is sat there playing with his model for 5 days, you've managed to get enough client order flow in 2.5 and be drunk for the rest of it. Not to mention very heavy session on the weekend and occasionally acknowledge that you have children or something. It's pretty impressive. So I don't know how you thought about it in Shanghai, but that was certainly a pretty solid Hong Kong sales trader weekend.
Well, Shanghai was definitely not a sober place. However, it wasn't like Hong Kong where every foreigner is either a banker or is in finance or in law. So there were people who had real jobs there, so they just had to, kind of wait till the traffic died down. But yeah, just to give you an idea, one of the, I think, quintessential moments that just encapsulated the debauchery of the expat lifestyle in Shanghai, I had to go on a Saturday to an emergency room. And, so I'm in I'm like in my little, they've got the curtains drawn. It's this foreign hospital out in the western part of Shanghai, part called Hong Kong. So I'm in my thing and you can see through the crack. This guy in like a pinstripe suit. It's a Saturday afternoon. Comes through his bed next to me. Immediately gets belligerent with the staff. I'm going outside. I don't want to. I'm going to smoke a cigarette. I'll smoke it here. No, you let me outside. And, he just keeps erupting. They have to calm him down. And he's obviously just fucking hammered. And, like after 3 or 4 attempts to calm him down, like he's, various reasons he needs to be, restrained. Doctor comes back. Mr. So-and-so, if this happens again, we're going to send you home. No, don't do that. My wife, she said, don't come back till I'm sober and she'll divorce me. I don't want to lose my wife. My kids, do you understand that it will ruin my life? And the guy's fucking wigging out. I was like, man, I just think I broke my finger, man. Like, can I get, what the fuck? So anyway, yeah, that guy was so much of the expat dysfunction rolled into one that it's
a weird thing being an expat in Asia. There's this weird thing where like you mix with people across like a much wider group than you ever usually would, from like much more diverse probably socioeconomic backgrounds and much more diverse in terms of ages as well. So in the US or the UK, I think you're like unlikely to be randomly hanging out with some bitter divorced 65-year-old randomly. Whereas in Asia, like quite common as a 30-year-old to have that in your group. And so you're getting like the weird, bitter, I've been out here for 10 years, gone way off the reservation. And so that's something you're exposed to a lot more in terms of like just how fucked up people are.
There's Asia and then there's Indonesia. And like, the guys who do expat stints there. I mean, if you're there for more than probably 5 or 6 years, like you are incapable of re-assimilating into Western society. Like I shit you not. I mean, I haven't been there, but I knew a number of expats who'd done stints there. I mean, it sounded like a lot of fun. Like one of the guys was, he was like, yeah, man, in Jakarta, like group sex is the only sex we have. Like, everybody was kind of known by their nickname, but like, there's one guy who was like Spider-Man because he was always like, girl against the wall and
get the hell out.
I shit you not. Like he was telling me the story. He's like, this one time I'm at a party and I'm looking for the bathroom and I walk in and into this room. It's not the bathroom, but I see this chick, Sri, kind of like going down on this dude Lars, and I'm like, oh hey guys, what's up? And I walk around, behind Sri and do my thing, and I was like. The whole time, like Lars is giving me kind of a weird look, but I'm like, bro, like, what's your problem? I leave, go down, like, I find the bathroom, go find the keg, and just some guy comes up, and I know him. I'm like, oh, hey, man, I just ran into Sri and Lars, and he's like, oh, you know that they've been dating a while, right? He's like, I did not know that. But that's like, apparently, in Indo, you've been dating a girl for like 6 months, you, I guess, wouldn't protest because it's just not.
You'd be engaged.
Yeah, I mean, you might give like a strange look, but I mean, it's Indo. So there's Asia and there's Indo.
I wonder if Sri and Lars are happily together still or not. If you're watching, Sri or Lars.
And what are your nicknames?
Yeah, it's in those. Definitely different rules.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I've had the price list for having people killed, by policemen or military recited to me from people who've done time in Indo. So yeah, no, that's how business
cheaper
is done.
Cheaper than severance?
Well, certainly for an Indonesian employee to kill a foreigner is a lot more money.
Okay.
Fortunately, I mean it was around 10,000 if I remember correctly, US.
When was this?
Yeah, okay, so I get your point. There's inflation, right? Like you can blame, the Fed for that. But that was, I mean, I'm, probably at early 2000s.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe it's like 20K for a foreigner now. So
still within reach, right?
Yeah.
I mean, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Fair right.
Don't go after Adam West.
So, Freddy, when did you get your PhD in physics?
Ha ha ha. So,
I'm just...
for the uninitiated...
we read it in the FT, right? So...
Right. For the uninitiated, I was speaking to Keir Cameron this week about this article in the FT to do with...
Keir Callan, a Scorpion.
Where there was a physicist who was basically saying a lot of this like quantum computing stuff is just total bollocks, and Keir actually sends me a picture of the guy, and we have, what some people have remarked is a remarkably
like he's like a twin.
Similar. He's not a fucking twin.
Robin?
He doesn't have the cheekbones, but he has a remarkably similar haircut.
So wait a second. Wait. So yeah, he's a finance PhD, but I just connected two dots here.
Oh.
Remember years ago when Parker Pettit was still running MyMedics, and this photo made its way around of a board meeting at MyMedics, and there was a dude there sitting in the chair, back to the camera, but I mean from behind looked exactly like you.
Freakish, spitting image, genuinely.
Insane and jealous failed former short seller, I think, believes that you were actually at that meeting because of that picture.
He does.
Now we know who was at the meeting, the fucking Oxford physicist. What was he doing in MyMedics? He must be short ionic too, that bitch. What the fuck? That's the guy who's going to beat us for, Shark Tank. That's our competition.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, look, to be fair, that photo at the MyMedics meeting, it was pretty uncanny, and he had a reasonably similar build to me. And from the side, I'd have been like, oh yeah, that's kind of me. I mean, Mark could have called me and been like, is this you? But obviously it doesn't fit his great narrative of, egomaniac weirdness. I'm a failed short seller. But so anyway, the physicist is obviously the less qualified version of me. I don't
know, man. So far I'm thinking he's been long MyMedics at the time it was going up, short ionic. I don't know, dude.
So I don't know if you've been following this actually latest MyMedics stuff. I don't know if you saw. So the other week, it was brought to my attention. This is genuinely fucking crazy. There's this whole thing with Iyad, who went on the board, Prescient's point, and I don't know if he's been kicked off the board or whatever, or if they've opposed his directive. No, this is crazy. As part of their response on Iyad, they were like, this guy is, has some sort of minor felony or something.
What?
No, dude, it's crazy. He ordered, I want to say allegedly, but I think this actually might have not been an allegedly and actually might have been charged with it, ordered GHB, the date rape drug, on his mum's credit card.
No way.
Way back, I swear. I'll have to find the filing.
GHB was used for more than date rape. There were dudes who liked to get high on it.
Okay.
So.
Oh, really?
So I remember when I was in college, in the early 90s, and so there was the club in Beverly Hills was this place Tattoo, Tatou, and people like me only heard about it when it stopped being the club because Billy Idol OD'd on GHB outside of Tattoo.
Okay.
And I doubt he was trying to date rape himself.
Sure. Did he buy it on his mom's credit card?
That's the part that I...
Well, what I really want to know is how that conversation went. Hey, Mom, buying some stuff online. I'm a grown man. Can I use your credit card?
Why?
I mean, I think I know why you use someone else's credit card, but those are my own thoughts.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean... I mean, so it was originally, the idea behind GHB when it was developed is that it would cut down the recovery time for weightlifters and other athletes. And so they did clinical studies on it, and they found that that's true. However, it also led to a, undesirable rise in cancer among people who used it. But apparently, I mean, from what I've been told, like if you use it, like you will have in just a few hours the best, most restful sleep you've ever had. You don't want to mix it with alcohol. And apparently, again, like I don't know, but if anybody's ever in convulsions caused by GHB, which was apparently like the Billy Idol issue, apparently you just like pour milk in their throat and like that, like milk reverses it. But yeah, maybe that was more of like the urban legend, The other version is, you just piss in their throat and,
Is that like the jellyfish thing where it's like, oh yeah, you just pee on someone's leg?
It's that, but that apparently is real. Like that you have to urea or whatever, like to neutralizes the toxins from the jellyfish. It's apparently true.
It is true.
Look, man, when you think about things from an evolutionary perspective, right? Early man went into the ocean, encountered these unfortunate men of war, stung them, came out. What does early man have on him?
Portuguese man of war, you're fucked. Like the toxins and all that, like.
Yeah, but there are other men of war jellyfish that. So, early man comes out of the water. Like the dude doesn't have a fucking Yeti cooler with shit in it. He doesn't have a car. Early man has piss. All right. So the men, for whom like piss worked and solved it, they survived. They procreated. Men who did not react properly with piss and were merely grossed out by it and didn't get better, they did not procreate. So I believe that we have evolved because that's the only thing that you brought to the beach, in prehistory.
All right, well, there's only one way to find out. Next week we'll be bringing in a jellyfish and testing live. See if that works.
Carson. So next, Carson. Are the Chinese done cheating?
Krista, have you got an etch? Because I can pee on that for you. It could be a jellyfish. it could be a jellyfish.
Let's see it from an evolutionary perspective. Who should be here? Maybe Freddie and I both have to do it because maybe like from an evolutionary perspective, one of us doesn't have the proper piss. And does asparagus alter that?
Oh,
that's a question.
That's actually a good question.
Or beetroot.
What's that?
Or beetroot.
Yeah, beetroot. Yeah. Okay, so are the Chinese done cheating?
Cheating, yes. I want to know.
Yeah, and is Silicon Valley done inventing technology? So you must be referencing the PCAOB agreement with China, whereby China supposedly is going to allow unfettered PCAOB inspections of auditors' working papers, but in Hong Kong. I'm sure nothing will get left behind there. And so number one, now they're not done cheating, right? Like I've long held that this whole auditor inspection issue was really a ploy to exhaust our political will on this auditor issue without getting really to the more fundamental issues of being able to investigate and actually enforce against these companies when they cheat, which is most all of the time. The one thing though that's actually a key question here, previously, so when the big four affiliates in China were resisting the SEC's orders to turn over the audit working papers, the big four affiliates said, well, we believe that this could violate China's state secrets law if we provide that to you. But see, it wasn't actually written down anywhere. This was speculative. Well, in March of 2020, a revised securities law of the PRC went into effect, and it has this Article 177. And under that article, no person or legal entity within the PRC may cooperate with an investigation by an overseas regulator without the prior consent of the China Securities Regulatory Commission. So they basically took what was unwritten and they made it written rule. So here's the question. So the PCAOB, pursuant to its inspection process and calendar, may get access to the auditor working papers and basically when there are deficiencies, I think 2 years after the inspection, it goes to some obscure part of the PCAOB website that no investor, who's made good money in the past since the financial crisis ever goes to. And, it basically dies there. But the question then that I have is whether the SEC now, like as it may with any other auditor pretty much, may request and receive the working papers when it's investigating an issuer, meaning a company that sells stock. So that, I think, was unaddressed by this whole thing. So it's like, yeah, you could do your choreographed inspections. There's a calendar. There's lots of notice. But I don't think they get to actually make the investigations and make this part of the investigations. And, if that's the case, I mean, you're just going to continue to have, I think, near complete lawlessness in the U.S. exchanges by Chinese companies.
Yeah, and I think the other thing this shows is for all China's, we're going to have Shanghai as this great financial center and kind of, with this like big, strong, wonderful power, they still need Western capital markets. Otherwise, they wouldn't have even given like the kind of pretense of bending over on this stuff. I mean, we've seen all these companies do dual listings in Hong Kong. They trade like $8,000 a day versus 40 million US a day. It's kind of like a total farce.
But there are two reasons why they want access to Western capital markets. I mean, one is the one that everybody thinks of, like, oh, okay, well, the companies can raise money here. And,
yeah.
But the other is,
well, it's your fucking money, right?
Right, like all these CCP officials, yes. Senior guys from the local, provincial, and national level, they all own real amounts of stock in these companies through proxies. But yeah, I remember after we, so Focus Media, we shorted that in 2011. And then Carlyle Group came in and drove the getaway car to let them delist in a management-led buyout. And anyway, after that happened, I remember talking to a guy I know who he was a princeling, but he was actually a very substantive princeling, and he had dual U.S. He'd become a U.S. citizen as a child, went back to China, did very well. Was very
amazing
well.
How he was able to do very well as a princeling.
Yes, was basically very close with Wen Jiabao's family, and so he was in that Hu Wen network. And smartly, once Xi took power and was pretty clear that Xi was trying to grab all of those patronage networks for himself, he got the fuck out of Dodge and came back to the States. So after he got back to the States, I think it was maybe 2013, 2014. Probably 2014, I'm talking to him for the first time in a long time, and I bring up Focus Media, and I'm like, yeah, man, that just so pissed that those guys got away with it. And he said, well, do you know why they got away with it? I was like, well, because, and he's like, no. Wen Jiabao's son, Winston Wen, or Wen Yusong, had a lot of Focus Media. And when you guys came out and shorted Focus Media, he was fucking furious. And that is why you guys lost on Focus. So, anyway, but I mean, I knew that these guys had these stakes anyway, but that was an actual example where I heard from a very good source who played tennis regularly with Winston Wen, that, he had stock in it.
Neil Shen picking the balls up. Like, that's why they had him, take the fall and pay a fine. I mean, of course, he's now heading Sequoia China and is basically co-head of the firm. I mean, that just says so fucking much about Sequoia and how PE and VC really works in China. But I just love the idea of that fat little fuck picking the balls up. It's like, Princelings are just occasionally hitting him as well. Just that you did. And you're like, sorry. Like
all the shit that John McEnroe now says he was embarrassed about. Yeah. They did 5x that to him.
Yeah, and actually, I think an honorable mention should go to the chairman of Evergrande. Now that we're on the topic of China, some foreign bondholders have gotten together and they are somewhat irked by the fact that Evergrande is not progressing in terms of a bankruptcy process in the way that one would expect an orderly bankruptcy process to progress. And they have pitched the idea that some of his personal offshore assets might be used in order to pay them back. And I'm just thinking of like the scene from Team America, where like, you know, you got the little like, stop breaking my balls, Hans Beck's like, I'm just imagining, like, I don't know for sure that the chairman of Evergrande like does look or sound like that, but like I'm imagining that proposal coming across. He's like, hey, you down Western bondholders, I mean, that's got to be one of the fucking dumbest ideas. I mean, imagine pitching that to your PM. Yeah, hey man, like, look, they're trading at like 4 cents on the dollar, but we really think the chairman's gonna, you know, take us out at 6. Like, fucking out of your mind. So anyway, I just think that's a nice conclusion to the sad story that is Evergrande defaulting.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's not the conclusion. But
no, it's not.
It's like the Lord of the Rings movie, like sitting there in theater, like, oh, God damn it. Oh, God damn it. So yeah, that's how I think Evergrande will be. It'll be the Chinese Lord of the Rings movie.
Now on Bed Bath & Beyond, or after Bed Bath & Beyond, are the Gingers taking over finance? I want to know from you.
2 things. Firstly, excellent point. There are no Gingers in China, as far as I'm aware. And are the Gingers taking over finance?
Well, look, when Soren went to Japan, you would have thought there were no Gingers in Japan. Very well be Gingers in China.
I doubt it. I mean,
that's a whole other
I bet they would be more discriminated against in China than they are in the U.S.
Not as discriminated as they were as like a 13-year-old boy growing up in the UK. I got to tell you, that was an unpleasant time to be a ginger, even though there are more of them.
I mean, you weren't a ginger.
I was.
That sounded a little too personal.
No,
I know.
I was not a ginger.
Robin was not a ginger.
But I knew some, and they got a hard fucking time as kids. Trust me. So this Jake Friedman character, turns out, raised like $27 million from some friends and family and punted it all in Bed Bath & Beyond.
I mean, I think his family
was the
professional investors.
Yes.
I mean, it's like if they allocated $27 million to Bed Bath & Beyond, I mean, I'm not going to believe that was a north of 5% allocation for them.
So look, I think it's good that, you know, the Gingers are getting out there, and that you know, including Sarah, and this is becoming a bigger thing, and people are seeing them in a more positive light. Although admittedly this guy is pretty media shy. I do also wonder if the picture the FT used was like the least flattering picture, because I mean, his hair is bright orange. I mean, Soren, to his credit, is kind of more strawberry blonde.
Well, that's the gray working its way in. I mean, just...
Yeah, I mean, that, again, another difference. He's a short seller. That guy gets to just go long garbage. I mean, once again, which is a better business?
How much ass do you think he's gotten since that headline?
A lot. A lot.
Yeah, maybe even more than the football players at USC.
Yeah, and he's not going to have to deal with CTE either, so that's a double bonus for that guy.
You know, like, I think CTE would make it easier to go along Bed Bath & Beyond, but, you know.
Well, look, the whole thing with Bed Bath & Beyond that's really interesting is, like, what the fuck is Ryan Cohen doing? Like, it looks like there are a bunch of strangely timed securities filings, which look kind of vague. I honestly haven't dug into the actual details to see if he was, you know, being slightly economical with the truth or misleading, or if it was just like, look, I got fucking lucky and these idiots think I'm smart, and so, yeah, I'm going to use that and dump the stock. I genuinely haven't dug into the details to work it out.
Okay, so there are the things that trouble me about this, and then there are the things that I think he's okay on. So he bought 9.8% of Bed Bath & Beyond in February of 2022. Now, Bed Bath & Beyond was, because of course every near bankrupt company does, buying back shares. So February 28th, Bed Bath & Beyond filed how much they bought back. And then they bought back some more, but not as much. But eventually Ryan Cohen was, I think it was like 11 or 12, I think 11.8% shareholder, even though he hadn't bought any more shares. It's just because Bed Bath & Beyond shrank the shares outstanding through their buybacks. So that was a reportable event as of April, I believe. And you have, once you cross 10%, you have to file a Form 3 that identifies you as an insider. And so I think that he needed to have filed that in April. Now, stock continued to sink. He was underwater. And then you got this paroxysm of meme stock retardation that we've been dealing with ever since Joe Manchin, because he is the center of all that is bad and evil in this world now.
He is.
So ever since roughly then, like the meme stocks have been going back up. So then Ryan Cohen, on a Monday, he files the Form 3 saying, okay, I'm over 10%. Then he refiles his Form 13D, which is what he filed when he initially acquired 9.8%, because that's what an activist files. So he files the 13D, no change in any share counts. And he also had previously, with his previous form, he had bought a bunch of options. So now he files that, and it shows these options that are the call options that are way out of the money. So all these meme stock guys are thinking like, oh, gamma squeeze, apparently, and they buy up the stock. Then he files a Form 144 saying that he's going to sell stock, and over the next 2 days, he just dumps his stock. Now, the question is, was anything there manipulative? No, I mean, the lawyer probably would have advised him. It could have been a good faith reason he didn't file the Form 3, right? Like, you didn't realize, you didn't buy more stock.
Right.
You don't know that you just went over 10%.
I think that's very plausible.
I think that's very plausible. They're like, listen, you're going to file a 144. You should file this now. Was that advantageous to his holding?
Sure.
Yes, it appears to have been. But so that thing, I don't think there's an issue. However, right after he finished selling, it broke that Bed Bath & Beyond had engaged Kirkland and Ellis to advise on restructuring debt, and that some suppliers had stopped supplying Bed Bath & Beyond because of concerns over liquidity and creditworthiness. So Ryan Cohen was not on the board, but he had appointed 3 directors to the board. And also the CFO sold at the same time Ryan Cohen did, and he certainly would have known about the appointment. So that is what looks really funky. Now, if you're Ryan Cohen and the SEC asks you, because you see once this news hit, Mr. Cohen, the stock took a shit. It hit after hours. Stock took a shit after hours. Next trading day it opened, stock, was way down. And so what would Ryan Cohen say? No, that wasn't material non-public information. It wasn't material. The reason the stock was down is because I sold. And so then that kind of does point everybody back toward the 13D filing and the Form 3 filing, and like, well, if you can influence, if your filings and actions can influence the price of the stock, then why did you file those forms just before you sold the stock? So I think that puts him into a potentially precarious situation. Now, the final thing that he could say is, I actually didn't know about the restructuring advisors and this and that. But the CFO, what the fuck's the CFO going to say?
CFO is going to be like, look, that was a whistleblower that's just come out of nowhere, and it turns out there were tons of bots buying towels, and I just had, like, I need to get the fuck out of this thing, and like, whatever. Because, I mean, that seems to be the way that you wriggle your way out of trouble these days.
Yeah. And, and then but to go back to your original question, I mean, is Ryan Cohen Batman and this, ginger guy Robin? I don't know.
Quite likely.
Because otherwise he's one lucky Robin, and he's even the right color. I have to apologize to all the gingers who are watching this. I don't apologize to any gingers who are not watching this because, fuck you, you should watch.
Is there anything else? A lot of news out of Europe. Is ECB on your mind?
Is the ECB on my mind?
Yeah.
No, when I think Europe, I think about this New York Post headline I saw last week about an Italian guy who same day was diagnosed with
You know this, right?
with COVID, monkeypox, and HIV.
Supposedly he was Italian. Yeah. Same day.
It didn't say allegedly Italian. I just want to let you know that
Whatever.
there are paisans of yours who,
Which is fine.
who party.
I'm just saying.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about Italian, and quite specifically, Italian salad dressing. So, yesterday we're gonna go for lunch, and Krista's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring my salad dressing with," and I'm like, "Okay, it's fucking embarrassing and kind of weird." But then we raised the point of like, actually, in some restaurants, you can bring your own wine, and there's a corkage fee. And so, what about the concept of a salad corkage fee? Because actually at that very restaurant you ordered like the Cobb salad.
This is what we talk about at lunch.
Yeah, I mean, let's not pretend
They're
it's just at
exhausted.
lunch. It kind of made me think, like, there you are, you order the Cobb salad, like, apparently you want to live longer, so you're watching your weight and all that stuff.
Me?
Yeah, no.
Okay,
No, Krista doesn't want to live longer.
At me.
Spending time with us, she doesn't want to live longer. But it was interesting. So you were like, "Oh, I don't want the Cobb salad dressing. I want like something else." And I was like, "Well,
Listen,
we've just taken the piss out of Krista for bringing her own salad dressing,
That's
but
it.
maybe this is a broader audience than like we've really been thinking." So we have been discussing opening a restaurant here. Maybe, I mean, we discussed it once, and I might have underestimated the cost of the build out, but we're going to see about that. But I'm thinking, if we do end up opening a restaurant, should we have like a salad dressing corkage fee where people can bring their own salad dressing?
well,
No,
I mean,
I don't feel like it would be that popular in Texas.
so, but our whole thing, look, when you wanted to bring that salad dressing to the Capitol Grill,
Yeah.
and you're like, would this be tacky?
Yeah.
And it would be kind of embarrassing.
Because I
But
thought
we-
I was working for guys who don't give a fuck.
But we suggested that you put it in a flask. But it's just in this big plastic bottle. It's not even a glass bottle.
I
Like
mean-
how
No, it was a glass
embarrassing
bottle.
would that be? No, it's plastic.
Oh,
It's a plastic bottle.
Yes.
Which also, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking the
ESG.
dioxins from the plastic leach into the
Exhausting.
canola oil.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can't even. I got a friend who's all into that, like plastic ruining your sperm count, like the whole thing.
Is his name Carson?
No, it's another. I mean, he has 2 kids. It's irrelevant now. But I mean, this guy's younger and he's all about like plastics and soy and moobs and all kinds of weird Jordan Peterson shit. Like, we don't even want to go there. I mean, this guy is definitely pro tanning your balls, right? Like, you know about this, right? The sun tanning your balls, the Tucker Carlson thing.
Right.
Yeah. So like,
Well, sperm counts in America have declined. That part's true.
yes.
Now whether that means that, you need to vote Republican to cure this is, I think, questionable science, but Tucker Carlson would have you believe that that's what needs
Exactly.
to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, man, but I just want to address what I feel like is a dig at my choice of the salad. I just got to say, the older generation of short sellers, they believe in lap bands. At least some of them do. I'm more of a, natural, you got to just eat less and, and not do the smash and grab equivalent of losing weight by just like, investing in a lap band.
It's not going to make you any happier living longer, okay? Just remember that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I don't know. I might, if I live long enough, I'll be able to swim in Sonoma County in the ocean. So, might make me happier, man. Like, I always wanted to live at the beach. Like, a vineyard was kind of, like, it was kind of a consolation prize to beachfront.
Okay.
Well, Batman, Robin, this has been another great ZFG podcast.
Hotcast?
Hotcast.
Hotcast, yeah.
Oh, that really does sound like hot
I
cast.
didn't say that.
Yeah.
But that's just my accent. Anything else?
Where in the world are you from again?
Nueva York.
New Jersey.
Oh, it has been another great CFG.
It
So,
has been. It really
Cool.
has been.
all right. Well, yeah, we'll toast the unopened. I got fail and set sail.
Okay.
Pale ale.
I had a smash and grab.
All
Cheers,
right.
guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.